All right. Hello and welcome to Let Me Talk to My Customer. I am your host, Chad Counts, along with my co-host, Richard Tyler. Rich, how are you doing today?
In it to win it.
In it to win it. Excellent. So we are pretty much finished off most of the major industry events this year, which means the year is coming to a close, or the finish line is in sight. 7, 8 weeks left, something like that here in November, December to finish out. Holidays spirit is coming. If for those of you who don't just directly bypass Thanksgiving, there is still Thanksgiving before Christmas, but for those of you who just like bonus, holiday season, Christmas or Hanukkah or whatever you celebrate, then have at it. So we don't have any official trainings on the docket for the near future, but I know there are several companies I've been talking to who are in the process of either looking for new salespersons or have recently hired new salespeople. If you are in need of new salespersons training, please reach out to me at countsbusinessconsulting.com. We have our 4-week series we've been doing. We just completed our most recent run. And as soon as we get a handful more interested, then we can schedule another training to come. So please reach out and we'll get you on the docket. I did want to mention our fantastic sales training and sales management services. We haven't plugged that in a while. And so I wanted to let you all know, all our loyal listeners and new listeners who have joined us recently about those services. So we provide a number of services from one-on-one trainings with salespersons to team meetings and management services to multiple trainings for salespersons of all different backgrounds and experiences, from new salespersons to intermediate and experienced top-level salespeople. We have different curriculums to meet each of their needs, and we tailor those to each individual person to make sure they are meaningful and successful to them, because that's our ultimate goal. Wherever they're at, we want to put together a plan of training and a plan of attack to help them achieve new levels of success. So some of our statistics and our track record here for you guys, we were able to increase brokered sales for a team of 4 by 66% over the previous month and increase their net profit by $20,000. Multiple teams that we have seen a 45% increase in their net daily brokering sales. So again, this is we've mentioned this before, but this is a net zero cost program, meaning that if you engage with us, we believe we will cover our costs plus add additional profit to your bottom line. For intermediate salespersons, we took someone who was doing routinely $145,000 a month and have gotten their average up over $200,000 within 90 days. And we have 12 weeks of training a 27-year-old veteran who had never sold more than $200,000 in a month and led them to setting company record of $244,000 within a month. So again, that kind of mentions that we can cover a variety of backgrounds and skill sets for salespeople. And so hopefully whoever you have on your team, if you feel like they are plateauing or flattening out, they need help to reach new plateaus or new levels, we hope you'll think of us and partner with us to help them achieve new levels of success. So thank you guys for indulging me in espousing our virtue and our success and everything that we do well. We're really proud of what we do. It's one of our favorite things to do is partner with you guys to help grow yourselves. Okay, on to this episode. We're going to be talking about competitive camaraderie and how to foster that. I think this is a fun time of the year and fun season to try and make things a little more competitive, to make them a little more lighthearted, and to keep us energized going through these final 2 months. And so Rich and I are going to pass back and forth either things that we've seen be successful either for individuals or for teams to help buoy their spirits and to help them maintain high levels of engagement as they're finishing out the year. So Rich, we'll start with you. Why don't you go ahead and kick off some of your favorite contests that you've run or been a part of in the past in your varied sales background?
Sure. So contests give managers and owners a chance to be a bit creative. So I know a lot of times when we're talking about contests, there's usually a money prize or something like that. I was just thinking back to some of the teams I'd worked with previously, and we would have like a mystery box, and the mystery box would have to be at the front of the office, and everybody would see it every day, and we'd always talk about the mystery box and what was in the mystery box. And the prize would change, but it would always be something, you know, relatively whimsical or funny, and people loved it. It was I think it's a chance for people to get creative, you know.
Mm-hmm. Was it a weekly or monthly, or how often was it earned?
That one in that particular instance was weekly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did it tend to verge more towards humor and like the culture of the team? Did it lean more towards?
There was I'm trying to think, like it would be something funny that everybody would like, you know. And that does give a chance for whoever's organizing the contest to think about, you know, the interests and that kind of thing of their team, you know, to be able to reflect that in the prize.
Yeah.
I know we talked one time about maybe giving a team beer money or something like that. Like we wouldn't actually buy them the 12 pack, but you know, that kind of thing.
I think anytime we do you know, those monetary weekly contests or even daily, that is definitely seen for most of our salespeople as beer money, right? That's what they're excited about. Whatever that money translates to them, that's gravy for them. So I know for those that maybe have more family oriented sales team, it could be something along the lines of gas money or going to a restaurant or something like that.
Yeah, gift cards are always great. You know, gift cards are great. They're easy, and it allows you to be able to kind of, you know, switch things up a little bit.
So we haven't done something expressly like this, but I was almost thinking you could do 8 weeks of, maybe not Christmas, but 8 weeks of holiday contests here, and each week is unveiled a new prize or something like that. We had done a long-term contest for basically second quarter, right? And I tend to like doing these longer-term contests during second quarter or fourth quarter, as typically from what I see, most of our companies, the first quarter and third quarter are their peak months. That's when they tend to have their easiest and best sales. And when things are busy, I don't know that you even need to. I mean, it's still fun to have contests and compete and that sort of thing. I always think that's warranted, but it's not as hard. It doesn't have to be as unique or over the top to get people's attention. So we did a 3-month long contest, and there was a cumulative total of performance for each month. And at the end, the top prize was it was basically $100 a month per salesperson that was going into this pot. And they didn't put it in, but we ended up having, I think, a $1,200 contest. And so for some of them, it was like whoever took home the 3 months got $1,200 bonus, right? So it was a drone. It was whatever they wanted it to be. They had an opportunity there. So you could either do a building contest that, you know, there's different legs, and whether weekly they accumulate a total or what, or you could do something more along the lines of each week there's basically like a growing prize, like kind of mystery box style, like Rich was talking about. Of we're building towards the end of the year, and that's the performance. For other companies, now those are each kind of monetary prizes typically, and maybe it makes sense. I've seen a team that was really big into Call of Duty, and so it was a special edition headset or gamer chair or something like that, right? Because that fit who that team was. Right. But I also want to mention some ideas for non-monetary, basically ego type challenges, right? Because I think year end, and maybe our industry doesn't do it a lot, but I know plenty of other industries. They do year-end employee awards or year-end trophies or things like that. And I think because the year is coming to an end, this makes a lot of sense to have a championship belt or to have a sales trophy that, and whatever that category is going to be, I would assume probably top net sales, but maybe it's most profit or something like that. That would be something we're striving for.
Sure.
Where I think that could be difficult, if you're a company where it's like you have a clear front running salesperson, there's not a lot of contests left in that probably at this point in the year. But if you're a company that's had 2, 3, or 4, salespersons that are neck and neck and have performed very, very well, this is a fun thing for them to sprint to the finish on, right? To hold up that performance and to keep going. So what about ego wise, Rich? Can you think of any contests?
I was thinking of one when you mentioned that. We worked with a team where there was one good office chair and 3 squeaky office chairs. And so whoever sold the most that week would get the good chair, and the good chair would go rotating depending on, who was selling best that week. So,
yeah. I like the idea of, and we'd seen this at another company where the desks were valuable, right? So not being on the front counter, not having to handle retail, getting to have an office or different things like that. Now, you got to be careful because if somebody's had an office for a long time, this might not be for them. But, however they finished in rank order, and this was a team of 6 or more, they got to pick in reverse order their chair, right? So top performer got to pick which desk they wanted, where they wanted to be. And so it was kind of like almost in racing or NASCAR or something like that, being able to get pole position, right? Being able to get the preferred place. And I always like that because I definitely think there is a sense of pride that comes from different offices or different positions or different standing. And I think at certain points, that should be up for grabs. It shouldn't solely just be whoever's been here the longest or has the most experience. I think there's a lot of value in giving people a chance to move themselves up that rung if they can. So that's not for everybody. Certainly having ego contests can have more harm than good in certain companies. So you have to fit what works best there. But anyways, this is a season of giving and thankfulness and joyfulness. And so I think there's things to go after that. I could see maybe making this a mutual outbound contest too, of largest growth in a customer account or something like this. And it becomes a shared prize between the sales rep and their customer or something like that, right? So maybe on the wholesale side, you're building in those opportunities for them to brag on their customer and say, hey, we're second in the contest. Let's see what we can do here and get in at the end of the month, end of the year before we grow. So I think you can have a lot of fun with it. There's no end to how creative you can be with these contests. And I think they often get overlooked. Ian McFarland at M&M, one of my favorite sales managers to get to work with, he always just has a wealth of joy and energy and how he puts together his contests. And he's done a very good job with those over the years to keep everyone motivated, to keep everybody happy. So hopefully, sometimes contests can be like, okay, what are we going to come up with next? Take some time, think about it, come up with something fun, whether it be for, maybe it's too late to get this in November, but hey, December's coming up. That's a great month for everybody. Everybody's really excited about that. And, put some energy back in the sales counter, right? Give them something to show up for, be excited about, not just looking forward to those holidays that we all look forward to, but to be looking forward to coming to work and performing at a high level. In some ways, I think the contests are more needed now in these times where sales are a little more spotty and there's more days off and focus goes elsewhere. We kind of have to up at least the emotional or energy ante to be able to keep everybody highly engaged and highly attuned.
For sure.
Okay. Well, we'd love to hear from you guys. Those are some of our ideas and some of our thoughts on contests and ways you can go about it. Hopefully, maybe you've run some really fun contests this year or recently that you had good results with. We'd love to hear about them. And if you email us or reach out to us on Facebook, Counts Business Consulting, or our website, countsbusinessconsulting.com, or leave it in the reviews on iTunes or YouTube or wherever you're finding this podcast. And if we have a couple that we like, maybe we'll mention them on air or join in with you guys and participating in that contest as well. But anyways, season of joyfulness, season of gratefulness, ending to a crazy year, but what's been a really good year in our industry. Let's celebrate that. Let's have a little bit of fun and hopefully develop some competitive camaraderie amongst our teams. So I'm Chad. Rich, thanks for joining us this week. And until next week, everybody, we hope you have a wonderful rest of the month. Thanks, everybody.